The next item is Amendment 8, the West Coast drilling ban. Senator Cantwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to hold off on this amendment and discuss it when we get to the floor. I think those of us who represent West Coast states definitely want to protect our economies that exist there, have a different viewpoint about this, but I'll save that discussion for the floor.
Very, very good. The next item would be the seismic exploration prohibition, also by Senator Cantwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The amendment I'm speaking to today would bar the use of authorized funds for any seismic exploration activity that may reduce commercial fishery harvests. I know we just had a very hearty discussion about this larger issue, but commercial fishing is a multi-billion-dollar industry in my state, and we need to figure out how to do offshore inventory without putting countless fishery industry jobs at risk. This amendment specifically addresses seismic exploration activity because there is considerable evidence that done wrong, it does dramatically impact the harvest levels and fishery jobs. Commercial fishing in various parts of the world have complained about the decline of catch rates during seismic survey operations. For example, Norwegian studies have found that a single air gun array dramatically depresses catches of cod and haddock by as much as 40 to 80%, depending on the catch method, over 1,000 square kilometers. That's the same array as displaced 2 other commercial species, blue whiting and herring, in an area roughly the size of Rhode Island. So I don't know how much those losses can cost, but I believe it's very significant, and I want to make sure that we aren't putting the same kind of burden on American fisheries. So the Interior Department needs to figure this out. They need to figure out what the damage will be to commercial fisheries. And I know that this language here is getting a lot of discussion this morning, so I suggest that I continue to work with you and the ranking member on what we can do to address the concern of the commercial fisheries industry on this issue as we move forward in discussing exploration and seismic activity.
Thank you. Let me just say I appreciate that. I'm glad to try to work with you and have staff work with you on how we could accomplish the objective that you have in protecting commercial fishing. Obviously, I share that objective. I would have to oppose the amendment as it currently is drafted for fear that it is too broadly drawn and would be difficult for those administering it to know exactly what they were being required to do. So, is there other discussion on that? Senator Murkowski.
Mr. Chairman, first of all, I want to thank Senator Cantwell for bringing this up. I, too, will commit to working with you to see how we can't provide clarification. I'm concerned about some of the terminology when we talk about reducing commercial fishery. It's pretty ambiguous, it's pretty vague there, and that causes me concerns. I'm also a little bit concerned that it may be duplicative in nature. We do have requirements under the federal laws. NIMS, National Marine Fisheries Service, requires that seismic surveys be reviewed and permitted to make sure that they don't have any kind of a detrimental effect on the fisheries. When you think about the Magnuson-Stevens Act, the NEPA requirements, I clearly have a very, very distinct interest in making sure that our commercial fisheries are not in fact impacted. So would certainly like to work with you and the chairman on this.
Thank you.
Any additional discussion? You did not intend to ask for a vote at this time,
That's
as I
correct,
understand
Mr.
it.
Chairman. That's correct.